Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's been 3 long weeks here at SRA.
Welcome back to the best racing in North America, home of the SRA GT3 Team Series. 60 minutes of action-packed door-to-door racing, 6 divisions, 6 different championships on the line. Let's get ready for some action tonight.
An incident turn. We have Boardman at a yellow. Looks like he's dropping down positions there on the chicane as a bunch of cars are coming through.
Byron's going to take a dive in the Lexus.
Johnson looking to go down the inside of Maxwell.
And we're off and away for SRA.
And good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to our Wednesday night Season 7 Round 2, Division 2 event here at Spa, as one of the world's most famous tracks. And we're going to have some fun tonight here in the race. Let's welcome our co-hosts, as usual. Selena, welcome back.
Hello, hello. It's great to be back for round 2.
And yours truly, Jess Osborne, is here on his round 2. Welcome, Jess.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're as excited as I am.
That's right, guys.
Yes.
We're getting ready to get started. The drivers, by the way, just had their driver's briefing out of the way. They are on their mini free practice session before quali gets going. We're not going to waste too much time here. Let's go over to the track map just to kind of take a look at Spa. I know everybody's familiar with it, but let's move over to our track map screen just in case you have any questions about the track. But anyways, it is located in Belgium. It's about pretty much an even 7 kilometers all around the track. 4.353 miles. We got 20 turns, so one of the tracks with the most turns, if you don't count Bathurst with all that mountain sector and all that stuff. But anyways, it is known to be, obviously everybody knows turn 4 on this graph. If you can take a quick look at it, the Rouge/Relion when you get to the top, very fast. You should be able to take them mostly flat depending on your setup all around the whole sector, but if you get the wrong line, we all know what can happen. Also sector 3, Blanchimont turn 18, another section that you go flat out, when you go too wide, get a track cut, and also if you go a little too deep onto the apex, well, you can lose control of your car, and also there can be a lot of race over incidents there. So that's Spa for you. Everybody's familiar with it. Before we go into the actual camera feeds and all that, guys, let's take a quick look at the driver standings. I know we only run race in, but we want to go ahead and pull that in for you guys. I know our race winner last week, Grant Klingsing, with the 112 points. Lloyd Normando with 100 points, and Ian Wheeler, top 3 currently with 92 points. Your silver leader, by the way, right now, it's Colin Madiak, 76 points. He had a heck of a race on round 1. Again, this can change. Obviously, just one round in. Round 2, things can change drastically. So
I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
We'll see. Well, we're going to take a quick look at the team standings, just to give you guys an idea of what's going on here. We're actually talking about it before we started the stream. There's a tie currently at the top with Ghost Rider Racing, Bandy Brew, Archie, and Kish with 140 points, tied with actually Madiak and Dunham, Honest Speed Shot Racing. And then, as you can see, basically the top 4 are within 5 points of each other. We have Champion Motorsports.
Yeah, I think your music background is playing way too loud.
Let's turn that down. Yeah, you're right. Let's bring that down. That is totally loud. Come back here. Barely even listen to me. There we go. But anyways, Billa Racing's Uranus. Yes, got to make sure you say that correctly. Normando and Chan also with 135 points. So, let's move over to our race scene as the drivers are going on to outlap silver drivers first. I'll let you guys take over a bit. Oh, and let's get this out of the way, obviously. There we go. Mr. Jeffries actually coming down. Interestingly enough, I was looking at a little bit of FPS drop on my end, but it looks like it's been taken care of. And very nice looking livery from Mr. Jeffries. Has got that nice, well, it is SRA's themes for Season 7. It's got that whole galaxy, looks like a whole Milky Way scenario, mixed galaxies. Looks really, really nice. Looks really
it looks
nice.
so nice.
Like, because it looks like it, like you said, the galaxy texture, and then to me, what it makes me think of is like really fancy guitar finishes with like a black finish that kind of like you buff it and it fades out from the wood into pure black. Like it looks so fancy.
I agree.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now, Jeffries was having a pretty good race round 1, and unfortunately there was an incident where he ended up dropping. So he didn't score any points. He ended up dropping off round 1. So he's taking that as his drop-off round, and hopefully he has a better race here tonight. Kind of going around the track as well. Let's switch over to Mr. Dreebs. He's currently in. There's a huge line of cars, but he's got that Benny Brew livery as well. Looks really nice. It's got like almost like the space theme, but then mixed in with like all these kind of fanfare going on. Like somebody's on the side door. I don't know who that is. It looks really cool.
The Chihuahua from Blazing 8.
Okay, there you go. That's
Yep.
Oh, there it is. All right, there you go. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yep.
Let's go back a few more drivers. As I switched over to Boardman, literally at the start, looks like he might have been tapped at the start of his lap by somebody.
Yeah, I think he got hit by Alatufo. We were just seeing the red Porsche.
Yes, I was
Like he
gonna.
spun him around. That is the worst place you could possibly think. Oh, you're finishing your outlap, getting set up, and oh no, that was a waste. Back to pits.
He did.
Back on another outlap.
Yes.
Yeah, he just wasted a good 2 minutes just to get around the track to get his started. So, he's not happy about that. Hopefully, he can get that going once again. But Silver Drivers Apps started their laps. Currently, at the front of the pack is Mr. Latufo himself, Comic Racing. And it looks like I did get his livery this time around. Last round 1, we had a little
doesn't
issue.
it look great?
He does. It's just like Comic
Indeed it
Racing.
does.
We got
Comic
it.
Racing, yes.
They always kill it every time.
Yep. They do. They do.
He's closely followed by Jeffries, by the way, who is behind him. Now, Jeffries, from what I remember, I believe, and that might be wrong, I thought he was up front and might have just let Al through, and then he's leading that pack of silver drivers. Again, Spa being such a long track, 2 minutes and roughly between 15 and 20 seconds, you don't have many chances with a 10-minute qualifying session for each division here for silvers and gold. So, got to make it count.
Language 10 chiming in with Pillars Racing, Pillars Racing, Pillars Racing. I concur.
I didn't understand that. He said it 3 times, but what is it again?
Pillars Racing, Pillars Racing, Pillars Racing.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right, I think I got it.
Comic Racing. Let's just leave it at that.
And I'm following Mr. Dreebs down on that Sector 3 leading to Blatchman. Looks like somebody went off a little bit on their picture-in-picture. Might have invalidated his lap. And a couple of drivers starting to put in their laps. And I know Jeffries had invalidated his lap, by the way, so it looks like the first driver to get his.
I got to cut you off. Colin Dunham
Yep.
rockets straight up to P1.
P1.
Purple sectors
He did.
all
That's
across the board.
is about to switch, and then
Wow.
Dreams takes actually that second spot, and then
And I'd say
Valencia.
with a pretty decent damn lap time, 2:19.1.
That's a very good lap
That's
for a first
like
lap.
cold times last night in D4. Jeez.
And Gardner comes in with an 18.847 on his 296. Good lap from him, being his first laps. And Dupuis now, look at that first lap by Dupuis. Wow. 2:17.932. That's a whole second ahead of their field.
The hell just happened?
What is that
Okay.
AMG?
That's
That AMG
insane.
must have some sort of boost. What do we got?
Refs.
Wow.
Refs, mods.
Wow, unbelievable.
Jeez.
That's a hell of a lap by AMG. So, hey,
Out of nowhere.
out of nowhere puts that AMG up front. Car number 66. And so far, no other silvers have come through with a valid lap yet again. Gardner's second. Man Pearson actually slid his Ferrari in between Gardner and Valencia there, P3.
2:19 flat, very commanding time. And these silvers are coming out swinging. I think we're going to see a continued pattern of something you said you noticed earlier, was that once you get past the podium, it's a big swath of silver drivers who are overperforming. I think that's going to continue tonight.
Yeah, top 5
Yep.
were gold drivers, and then from 6th to 17th were all silver, and then started mixing a little bit. But hey, you know, they come out swinging. You know, track isn't what you, I mean, it still says optimum, but you'd say not rubbered in as much. You can say that. Gold drivers come out and normally would be benefited by better lap times, but silvers do put something through as themselves. And again, sometimes could be a couple of silver drivers and maybe during their hot stint might not have put things correctly, and then things get shuffled around by round 3 here at SRA. We'll see what happens. And Dreebs comes through with his 296, takes that pole away from Dupuis again. 2:17.725. Heck of a lap on that
Valencia-
296.
Valencia also has a heck of a lap. He improves by a whole second up to P3 now.
Oof.
Bailey Kish is improving by more, though. 1.4 seconds up.
That is a huge jump as he comes through third.
Feels it.
And the AMG, look at this AMG power going on here. Another AMG
That's- Wow.
right there on the second row. About 2.5 minutes left for these silver drivers to get their laps in. So they have enough time roughly for another, just anybody that's crossing the line now would be just their last lap. Anybody that's already through will get 2 laps to go. We'll see how that turns out.
Roger says 17.3 for sure from Crown. We'll see. We'll see.
Somebody's calling
he's
out Mr.
fast.
Crown. He's currently sitting in the pits as we moved in really quickly, but we'll switch back over to our busy track.
Ooh,
Couple of
Zeus loses it in Sector 1. Or, what's that? I don't even know where that is.
Yep. Now, also a couple of drivers, if you take a look at Torres, he's got about a half a second improvement over his best lap. That could send him quite a few positions up as well. So we'll keep an eye on Torres.
The Tufo right now on last moment setting in his banker. See how it shapes up.
And he has yet to put a valid lap. He's about to come through. We'll keep an eye on his last turn on the chicane. Lap is valid.
Oh, Cody Platt is just over a second up, and I believe he is in Sector 2, just about to make his way into Sector 3. So he's about like almost half of 2 seconds up.
Yeah, but initially he had an actual, looks like he had a bad lap to begin with.
Very bad, yeah.
So he will improve though. He'll definitely improve.
Yes.
Pretty big improvement regardless. So we'll see if he can
Oh yeah.
take that up there. But here comes Dupuis towards the end of his lap. It is an improvement. He might take the pole from Dreebs. And Dreebs is on his last lap now. Here he comes. Yep.
By 4/10. Yep.
Wow, what a lap. 17.567.
Ooh. Well, Zach Dupuis has done that 0.5, so we are still looking at Crown.
Crown will be coming out soon, as he's one of the goal drivers. I mean, somebody, you better back it up at this point. Somebody's saying that that's what he's gonna get. He needs to back it up. No pressure here. No pressure, Crown. No pressure. Now, Dreebs is roughly 200, I mean, a little bit 200 of a second behind Dupuis, but he's seeing if he can improve. Currently, his delta is virtually the same, but we'll see. It's hovering around that area. Dreebs might actually, if he keeps it steady, he might take the pole back, the provisionary pole from Dupuis. So it depends. We'll see if he's able to negotiate end of Sector 2 and beginning of Sector 3 soon. Oh, he loses his rear. That might have... Yep, he's invalidated his lap, so Dreebs will be provisionary second with Dupuis with that lead.
Alatofu's about to charge up from the midfield. He's got 6/10 up right now, going in Sector 3, and he's losing a bit of it, gaining it back. Looking good. Stop going to my sim camera feed, you dork.
I switched over right away as he crossed the line. I saw that. I was like, no, that's a duplicate. Nice. He goes up to 11. So good job for Mr. Latufo. And out of the drivers still on the field, Valencia was actually lost this time going through the checkered flag there and will not improve. Last silver driver on the track with a valid lap at the moment, I would say Gardner and Troxler. And Troxler could actually jump a few positions. If he's able to get through here, maybe. So crosses over. Oh my goodness. Look at the time from Troxler and Latufo. It is the same exact time, guys. 2:18.525. You know, and Latufo obviously put the time before he gets that P12, Troxler and P13. So, well. And that is our silver guys. Now we'll switch over to our gold drivers, as looks like Daniel is leading that gold pack of drivers.
My eyes right now are on Crown. He's got fans. They want to see him. They wrote a big check for him to cash. Let's see it.
Oh, boy.
17.3. Is it on the menu?
Now,
Can
remember...
he beat that 17.5?
Remember, you know who's probably... I mean, might not be hearing all this, but our race winner, Klingsing, you know, he's like probably listening to this like, hey, you know what, guys? You guys forgot about me. I won race 1. And then he's going to come out with a heck of a lap. So we'll see what he can do.
You never know, especially at Spa.
And Spa is one of those tracks that, especially through that, when you go through Rouge and Radillon, if you get that line correct, you can. That's what your lap's supposed to be. But if you make a little mistake, you lose so much time. It's such a long straight, you're not able to max out your top speed, and you just see your delta just goes bye-bye entirely. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what that's like. I've never nailed Eau Rouge.
Well, you guys raced last night. How did your guys' race go, by the way?
Chaotic.
It went okay. It was very chaotic. Unfortunately, it would have been great, but I just royally messed up in literally the last lap. I went deep once and let one guy pass, and then literally the last sector, there was a blue flag that got between me and the guy I was following, and so I let off too much because I was like, well, I don't want to fight this guy. This is pointless. Let off too much, lost my line, went wide, and I didn't realize how close G-Test was to me, and he beat me to we were side by side in the line because we went beat me to the braking zone,
Oh.
Because I was just so I was overly cautious. I didn't realize I still had to fend this guy off. So I lost another position in the final moments of the race.
Oh man.
Oh, I saw in the distance. Yeah, I was catching, but I totally messed up that last chicane right on the final lap. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. But yeah, it was very chaotic. I had a couple of contacts because some trading paints and stuff, but yeah, chaotic, very chaotic.
So it looks like Crown sets in an 18.4 for his banker. Can he pull out another second?
He will definitely need a whole
We'll leave him
second,
to
according
it.
to the chat, right?
We'll see.
14.4, yeah.
Point the camera away so he doesn't get stage fright or anything.
Commentators curse, switch him off, switch him off.
Yeah, no more. We had that happen a couple times, yeah, or maybe, or no, actually
More than a
more than a
couple.
couple times, yeah, a lot more than that.
Interestingly enough, you see the top Go driver, by the way, is actually Mewtwo. He's got that about half a second behind Dupuis, who is the leader. And he's not improving on this second lap. And Louis, who is in 6th, for the Go drivers, also not much of an improvement. So Dupuis has quite the lead based on current lap times we see. And Crown, who is improving about 300ths of a second, but still not enough to take a pole. But things should get mixed up a little bit also with a couple of drivers coming through their first lap. So a couple of drivers have not put the lap. Klingsing has not put a valid lap yet. So we'll see what he does. And Loic Normando has not put a valid lap. P1 and P2 from last week. So
As it stands right now, Crown's delta is enough to put him back on the podium because Dreebs and Dupuis have just that much of a gap.
shoot him
Yeah,
right up
from
to
P3,
D3.
it falls right off.
Switching over to Mr. Crown, currently P14.
4/10 up so far. Oh, we kind of lost a little bit of time though. Now 3/10. Oh, still just barely making the 3/10.
Looks like you lost a little bit of speed leading into the sector 3 there. Again, another sector off the track that you want to make sure you nail your exit so you max out your top speed. And, you know, if you don't, unfortunately, your time will go down.
Yep. Oh, but he gains quite a bit through the chicane.
Nailed that chicane,
By
but
10. Oh, lost a little bit, but 218.1. Still got a little ways to go.
a couple of Go drivers who haven't yet put a time are sending them right up to the top. There's Rec, P3, Louis, Mewtwo.
Here
as
comes
well.
Archer, improving by like 0.8 up to P6.
He does. Sends that AMG. By the way, P1 is an AMG for those of you guys thinking that's Ferrari Cup of some sort. Dupuis just sent that AMG right up to the top, and I don't see anybody catching Dupuis at the moment. We'll see.
No, nobody can reach him.
Nobody's able to,
Can't
or
compete.
Dreebs as
And
well.
Nobody's found any major improvements in Sector 1, it looks like, as they come around again. So, yeah, I think it's going to be little scraps now here. Nobody can take it from Dupuis and Dreebs. They're too fast.
2 minutes
Maybe
left,
Louis.
guys.
Maybe Rec.
I'm going to switch over the camera to Mr. Louis in P4. And oddly enough, I do not have a livery for Louis, but I thought I did last week, and I synced my
I don't have
liveries.
it either.
So maybe a livery change for Mr. Louis, and so far, well, his livery is basically a black R. That's what it would say. So
Yep. Thanks for confirming. I was worried it was me.
Nah. Yeah, I didn't think he's a black car for me too.
Mr. Louis, you have not submitted your livery to the race officials. That is a penalty. I'm just kidding.
Stop and go 30.
Rec, by the way, take a look at his lap. I know he's not too far. Still a little bit to go for him, but
He's only 100th away.
he is close to possibly taking it from Dreebs and maybe Dupuis here, as I'm going to switch over to Mr. Rec Helicam.
He's literally within hundredths of pole right now.
It's going to be close, guys. It's going to be close. And he does have a little bit of traffic. Hopefully it doesn't affect him.
Brent
Huge
Clemson
gain.
crossing the line.
Crown in front of
5/10
him.
improvement to P11.
And Dupuy, there's Wreck.
Oh,
P2 for.
P2, not enough.
Still got one more lap to go. He's going to go for. He might be able to get some draft ahead of him.
Loopers coming through, 4/10 improvement. Losing a little bit of it out the exit, still pretty good.
Not bad at all.
P5.
And we forgot about Mr. Damiani, by the way. He's got a pretty good lap.
I have not forgotten. I've had him in the pip every once in a while.
He decided to
He's
come
been
out.
great.
A huge jump coming through here. Yep. he does.
P9.
P9 for Damiani. Sends his Ferrari right up to the top 10. Says, I'm not going to improve that. Parks his car right at the end. Forget it. I'm done with this. I'm going to save my hour for the race.
Life's all about setting reasonable expectations.
It's like,
Yep.
I'm not going to get any better. Screw this.
Brandon Chan definitely believes he can get better, though. He's 8/10 up right now, looking for 9.
Yes, he
That's
is.
enough for putting him in striking range of the podium, at least.
He does. Right up there with Mutual, by the way, who's actually taking that P3 and sends Dreeps to P4. So, very close. And Chan absolutely flying on this lap. That's a whole, almost a 900th of a second improvement.
He's almost found it. And he has.
Look at that
Oh,
break.
Finds it in the brakes, 1.1. He finds
Wait,
more
wait, wait.
exit. Yep, 1.1.
Oh, wow.
Lost a tiny bit, but right up to
Oh,
P5.
Sends
Wow,
it to P4.
what an improvement.
It's like, I hadn't put my good lap yet, guys. Don't worry about it. And then, sure enough, sends it to P5, right behind Dreeps.
Yep.
And here comes his teammate, Normando, or at least his conglomerate teammate, Pillars Racing.
Pillars
so many
Racing.
Of them.
Oh, yeah.
Gnats. There's just, where there's one, there's a million.
Daniel, by the way, P16 right now, about to cross the line, shooting at him a few positions up. P16, P9. So Shea has P10, Damiani went to P11. And Mr. Crown coming through with a pretty good lap. Here he comes. We talked about Crown.
310.
This is
P5.
why everybody's going so
Sounds-
fast, because Language pulled out the chocolate. Please, put that thing away. Don't point the chocolate at anybody. And Normando improves 4/10 up to P9.
Archie coming through. Shooting at him a few positions. P10. As looks like Mr. Schwartz with a Porsche coming through. Improvement. Should move up a few spots as well. P24. And, folks, that is the end of our qualifying session. And Mutual, by the way, we didn't even catch him as he crossed the line. He actually got the pole from Dupuy on his last lap. 2:17.465 on his Ferrari. Oh boy. So we got Mutual, Dupuy, and Rec with the top 3. And then Dreeps fell down to 4. So let's get going, guys, as we have about 2 minutes to go. And then we're going to get our formation lap. 1 lap around Spa at slow speeds for us to get going for the whole hour of racing. While I'm waiting here, I'm actually going to change something on my graphics settings that I was messing with. I'm going to go ahead and enable this, which is kind of bugging me a little bit. Improve some frames per second. Hopefully for the scenes with lots of cars combined. Give me 1 second here, guys.
Imagine not being able to run everything on maximum at all times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Look at that. Mr. Osborne himself giving a little bit of a grid walkthrough on your picture-in-picture so you guys can see some of the liveries. But we do have, by the way, a total of 32 drivers tonight. I know we had a few more drivers last week. Interesting to see Mr. Klingsing, our winner for round 1, was only able to put his Ferrari in P16, but we know he's extremely quick. So moving up the field is something that he could be looking to do tonight. And somewhat I'm missing. I do not see Mr. Wheeler tonight. I guess he's missing our round 2. He did say to us, I think he was gonna make it for round 2, I believe, on our interview. So that will be his drop-off round. Check in on our chat, Mr. Exadecimator. Will they make it down the Camel Straight in one piece? Well, we all hope that happens. Everybody's going through Arouge and Radillon, and I was able to tune in D1's race yesterday, and looks like everybody was actually pretty good. I mean, things happen a little bit later on, but at least for the whole scary section of Spa, everybody made through okay. Later on, things are a different story, but. And we have Mr. Tricky Cow saying, I hope they make it down in one piece. I am stewarding this race.
Hope, cope, imagine.
Oh, Tricky Cow. We all hope that, and maybe a little less work for you. If not, you know you have a lot of work on your hands, buddy. So, Mr. Mutual leading the pack as we are about to get started with 1 hour here at Spa, folks. Let's get going.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, just so you guys know, we talked about Mr. Dupuis and Dreebs, who were quite ahead of the silver pack during qualifying. The golds were able to, you know, again, Mutual got that pole, Dupuis second, Rec third, and Dreebs in fourth. And now there is a whole load of go drivers, as opposed to how we saw it from race 1 last week at Paul Ricard. So we'll see. And then things get mixed up a little bit more down the grid. So we'll see what happens. We all hope not to get involved into any racing incidents, and everybody tries to keep things clean. You know, SRA, we always have the. I'd like to think that from all the leagues I've seen, SRA is probably, you know, we talk about incidents here and there, but it does have probably the least amount of incidents all around. I've been part of some leagues where it's more like Mario Kart status kind of stuff. And,
Yeah.
I haven't participated in any other leagues, but out of like all the online racing I've ever had the misfortune of being in, SRA definitely takes the sportsmanship the most
Oh, yeah.
seriously. It shows, and I love it. That's why I stuck around.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, the S rating functions really well. He takes, you know, driver, you know, racecrafts and things of that sort in consideration to give you a proper rating, and it works out really good. You know, obviously things happen here and there, but for the most part, compared to other leagues that I've been in, where people just bulldoze you through, and hey, you know, racing is racing apparently, and yeah, so it's nice to be. We have a total of 8 divisions all across here in SRA, which is a lot of drivers, and I don't think I've seen a league with that many drivers all in one. So, and who was in the pits? Mr. Looper, and
Yes, it is.
I saw him actually. I'm not sure if he had a network issue for a second earlier on the little green bar ping, so to call it, between the names and the manufacturers where you see the network connectivity. It was fully red. So I'm not sure if he had a network connectivity issue to the server on his end. Everybody else looks okay. But it looks like he'll be doing a pit start, at least for this event.
Not a great place to be doing that, all things considered.
Especially at
Pretty
Spa.
damn long pit.
Yep.
This is probably the longest pit, especially if your pit stall is the beginning.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I quit.
yeah.
I quit. That's a whole
Woo.
lap down.
It's-
Like, what do you do?
I know it's interesting to see that sometimes this is actually one of those, you know, whoever gets into the server starts populating the stalls from the front. You probably want to rush in and try to get that in case this happens. So, yeah, I mean, it is literally a good. We'll see when folks starts pitting. We're gonna take a look at our pit count, and as far as the timer goes, we're gonna give you guys an idea of how long from entry to exit the pit here at Spa is. So. Things are about to go live, guys. They are lining up side by side, heading into the final chicane as we are about to go green. And Selena, you lead us in.
Alrighty. Coming into the final chicane and on to the straight. About to go to La Source. Go.
Oh, that's right. This is actually where they start the formation. They have to go around turn 1.
Yeah.
Interesting.
One more to go.
One more turn to go.
Yeah.
So you got a little bit of a break here. Now here I am thinking it's like Formula 1. Like, oh, start now. Everybody stops, and yeah.
But
we go
everyone's still
down the
lined up.
There we go. It's like the only track, as far as I know, here in ACC, I'd say, that actually starts here versus the opposite. So here we go. Your turn.
Now down from the source, and we are going green in probably
Now.
5 seconds in
Here we go.
any moment. Oh, and now we are green. Round 2 of SRA Spa. Let's go.
I nailed it. I would be so good at jumping the light.
Oh!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Right up Radion. I don't know who it was, but
It's like
Brown,
Chan.
that's Brown.
oh,
I'll catch the replay of what happened from this
Take
from the
a look
helicam.
here. Take a look
How's
at
Going
the
up the hill. Oh, and he
he
kind of pit maneuvers the Lambo. I can't tell which conglomerate that was. And he gets the worst of it for sure. He comes to a complete stop, and that, functionally he's last place now.
wow.
Only followed by Looper.
And
Yeah, Eau Rouge is very dangerous trying to go too wide. If you go too wide, you're looking at a death sentence right there.
well, it's too wide, both of
Fortunately,
you
it
into the
looks like
pits.
It's been pretty clean. Otherwise, Josh Damiani's getting a bit of a scrap. Just fell back about 2 spots, but he's still in one piece and still moving. And so is the rest of the pack.
And our leader, by the way, our P1, Michu, actually dropped to P4. So, not the greatest start by him, but we know he's got speed, so we'll see what he's able to do for the next hour. Dupuis took that lead on the AMG right at the start. Rek got that P2 and then Dreves P3, so.
Oh, and it's getting real scrappy back here around Colin Madiak. Was that Aldo Tufo? Yeah, bringing up the rear of that. The big squeeze in the braking zone there.
What a colorful screen we see coming down here.
Isn't it?
It's got every color in the hue we can think of. Oh boy, yeah, this is going to be a while. We have Schwartz battling. I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera a little bit from further away as these drivers are getting acquainted on the track. Schwartz got a little bit of a buffer between himself ahead and behind. Leading up to that final chicane. Everybody hard on the brakes. So, interesting enough, and then you caught that incident with Crown, who got sent wide. It looks like his car is entirely gone. It looks like he's actually heading into the
believe it.
pits. Yes,
Pretty
Mr.
nice.
Crown. Yeah, he is going to get that pit. Maybe wait. Pit window is open. He's able to maybe get that out of the way all in one. Work his way back up. So, oh man, just hate to see. It looks like Archie. Also, we're going to take a look at the
Oh,
no.
replay.
Yikes. Another big shunt right there.
See what
Looks like
happened
Guy
here.
Man-person might have also been involved. Or
Oof. No, Archie just lost it going up Eau Rouge into the Radion, as we talked about earlier. So he's got some damage as he will be coming down the main straight. So certified Merc moment, according to language. Field is entirely, no actual battles going on. Looper is actually P30 now, actually overtook Man Pearson, which might have been involved in that issue, and Crown in the pits to get that repair out of the way. But following Archie in P24 at the moment, he's sliding his AMG around quite a bit.
in the pit, we're seeing Joao Semedo looking up the inside of Gardner and almost forcing an opening, not quite finding it though. Now Chris Stefiak is all over this fight.
Oh, close argy-bargy with
Cruising?
one thing. Yep, he went a little too close to Chan, but he just lost it. Almost lost it.
And loses the spot to
Oh.
Kish.
Yep.
And here comes Speed, hunting for another spot too.
Yep. Now pressure is all on cleansing. 3, 2, 3, 4. 3 cars behind him.
Oh boy,
It's a
here we go.
4-car battle right there. Right at the chicane. Oh, side by
Late
side.
break from
with
Damiani.
speed
And he pins
Whoa.
it on the
Pins
apex
it.
side by side.
What
Meanwhile,
an
a whole bunch
overtake.
of other drivers behind him are tapping out, saying, "No, thank you. I'll pit here. This
But
is too much."
Speed is not giving that up easily, though. He is right back on
he's
his
got
door.
inside until it soars. Oh, but still side by side.
Oh, and then where are they
Who's gonna
heading
blink?
down to? Down the
I
straight.
think Damiani is gonna. Yep.
Close that door.
Yeah.
Ahead. He's got it.
Yeah, he did. He closed it.
Yep. Speed just, yeah. There's no way for that, for him to just get too wide in there. He's like, nope, I'm gonna just stick back here and not risk anything early on the race.
I think he was thinking more of a survival sort of scenario rather than just go side by side 5 minutes into the race. So smart move.
Yep.
But that was a great move with Damiani, that's for sure. He took the outside
yeah.
line on the
solid.
chicane.
Oh yeah. Highlight worthy.
And Speed was, I don't think he might have been expecting Damiani. Say, what are you doing on the outside? And he had the inside line on the other part of the chicane. He's like, wait a minute. So, great move by him, that's for sure.
Wait a minute.
We have quite a few folks heading into the pits, by the way, get that out of the way. So things will get a bit mixed up once everybody pits, which we'll see at 5 minutes left in the race. And how we saw at Paul Ricard, all of a sudden things got real mixed up. So.
Oh yeah, it did. It was interesting.
Switching over to
So,
Mr.
for
Jeffries,
you-
by the way.
For you
P8.
nervous pit crews that are watching, listening right now, wondering what the good time in pits would be, start to finish. It looks like about 1:20.
Oof. Yeah,
That's
is.
the delta you got to look for.
You do not want to. Well, unfortunately for Mr. Crown, that was a huge pit, plus his repair. So he will still collect some points. Remember, top 40 drivers will collect points regardless. So he'll make sure he wants to finish the race. Every point counts towards the end. So. And the field has gotten a little bit open. I'd say not that much open, but just going over to following P4 Dreebs. He's got a whole train behind him with Louis, Shea, Dunham, Jeffries, and Chan, all basically within a second. Normando is actually leading that as a P3, where Rec and Dupuis had sort of just taken off. Maybe the battling with each other, P3 through P9, and that gave quite a bit of room for Dupuis and Rec to open up. And looks like Damiani has lost it up the
And
straight.
speed.
Oh boy, take a look at the replay,
Right
guys.
now in the pit.
Let's see
Damiani
what happened.
is-
Damiani coming up. Just,
Oop, snap. And then behind him, speed as well. In
Speed.
a different line.
It looks like Speed might not have been okay, maybe. Oh man, you just hate to see that going up, especially at that part of the track. So
Pretty rough.
Yep. You truly do hate to see that. And as Speed lost his speed
he did.
at the Camel Straight, Alatufo is coming up right behind him like a shark, following by Eric Boardman. So he's got 2 Porsches right behind. So Ferrari and Porsche battle. You won?
And I've just went back over here to P4 with Dreebs and the whole crew behind him. Louis, Shea, Dunham, Jeffries, Chan, just all within basically within less than a second of each other. So, but Normando was able to open a little bit of space. But this is something that can be easily gained or lost at a pit. Here, as we know in ACC, how the pits are more like another game we have to play once you get into the pits. And then if you get something wrong, well, there goes your position. So hard braking into the chicane, and as Louis just comes glued behind Dreebs, and Dreebs might take the inside line. You know, the Porsche has that speed, and Dreeps just sort of says, not here, not here.
Oh, nearly
that was
gets
a
sent by
close
Colin.
send.
Wow.
Ooh, that was very close.
Colin
actually-
manages to dodge him, only loses a spot to Colin for it. I think that's a pretty fair outcome.
Oh boy, and Dreeps was very close, and I just, Shea has gone into the wall.
Oh.
And we'll take a look at the replay that
That's
as
not what we
well.
wanted. No, don't do that. Don't do that. We just saw it.
I just want to see exactly what happened. Yeah, he just lost his rear. I thought he had maybe tapped the curb a little too much, but he just looks like his rear lifted, and then that was game over. Oh man, we see that. Looks like he is going to retire to the pit. He does. He actually goes to the pits. Let's get a heli cam feel. And again, going back to P4 with Dreeps, this group is the closest group so far on the track, so. And Louis is just almost trying to find a way around Dreeps, maybe. He's got maybe a little bit better pace, but Dreeps is just being able to defend quite well for, you know, ever since about 10 minutes into the race, so. Oh, he goes wide, and that will take.
Dreeps loses it, which gives the opportunity right over to Louis. Oh,
he's.
Dreeps tries to stick on, but he does not. That falls by Dunham right on his rear, but he goes a little wide.
So Louis actually, due to a mistake from Dreeps, takes that P4, and we'll see if he's able to open up a little bit of a gap here. But now Dreeps he has to worry.
Jeffries and Chan on the attack.
Jeffries coming through. Yep, he is. Look at that outside. Whoa!
Oh!
And that was Klingsing.
Hey! Done from
What a rough race.
Oh, yeah.
He just
straight to the pits.
Yeah. He goes, well, this is the better place for me to lose my car because I can go right into the pits. So
Silver linings.
Unbelievable. His spot has been sort of collecting souls here tonight. I mean, left and right. Yeah. Unbelievable, guys.
Rodion is like the worst place to do
look
that.
At Dreeps. Oh my goodness.
As I say that, Dreeps just loses the rear and just, oh man, right into Dunham. Oh.
Yep.
Oh yeah, collecting souls tonight.
He tried to avoid it, and there was nothing he could do at that point. And that was the second lap in a row. Dreeps actually had a little bit of a rear situation that I saw, and this time he just couldn't save it. So.
Reminding me of Spa for me 2 seasons ago. Geez.
Reminds me of every race I have at Spa.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It happens often.
It happens every race.
Exactly.
At one point in an hour race, I will end myself at a Rouge. That's how I look at it. If I survive this race for an hour, it is an accomplishment.
Yep.
10 laps is an accomplishment for me.
We're going to switch over to Mr. Stiefel. Is that Madiak? P10, P11. Madiak has had a heck of a race. Round 1. Very close. Trying to maybe attempt an attack. That is a Porsche versus Ferrari battle. So you do see that Porsche just coming out of turns with that nice torque at the start, but then top speed, not necessarily the best on the Porsche. And this is where the Ferrari could maybe attempt an overtake, possibly at the end of this, well, not end of sector 1 after Rouge, leading up to where we will be going to lap 6. Few kind of spread out after that incident with Dreeps, kind of like everybody maybe got together. Here he comes with a Ferrari. On the outside.
Oh, close. Side by side.
Able to stick on the inside.
That's the inside, and he's exit just barely, but Stafia gets really good exit out of that. Overtakes Madiak quite quickly, but oh wait, Madiak gets the inside into La Source. Side by side once again.
But the Porsche gets the better run on the outside.
Yep.
Wow.
Porsche
Staffiuk
power,
is,
baby.
yes.
The Staffiuk is in
Let's
trouble
go.
now, though, guys. He's up. If they make it through here, that Ferrari's gonna come flying at the end of this straight. Looks like he
What
actually
a battle right there.
got a better he got a better exit out of Rodillo here, and they will live another day, guys. They will live to
Yeah.
fight another day.
No
This
souls
is what we tune in
collected.
to see. This is good drivers pushing their cars to the limits.
Oh yeah. That you love to see. Get her done.
So looks like the battle up on the podium up ahead has been rather quiet, but Rek has consistently kept this gap from Dupuis down to 1 second. So I think it's only a matter of time for one of them blinks and pits or somebody makes a mistake, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is
I'm not even gonna switch the camera over to that section because I'm gonna avoid anything.
I feel like there's a powder keg, and maybe commentator's curse is the match we need to ignite it.
I
But
mean,
Rek is,
it'll make more things interesting, right?
as you mentioned, I mean, their best, I mean, the fastest lap of the session is Dupuis with a 2:18.515. Rek with a 2:18.565. And Rek's previous lap was actually just 200ths of a second slower than Dupuis. So he's been kind of hovering there, like you said, just kind of, you know, maybe waiting. And they're kind of the two drivers that have kind of separated themselves for the entire pack because everybody else is on the 19s and above. So still following. Madiak is still, oh, I can never say the name, but here he comes.
I think it's Steffiak.
Steffiak, there he goes, yes. On the outside,
Oh, side by side once again at the chicane.
they're gonna go at it again.
Oh, Colin follows through.
Tap, but oh,
And Al, by the way, just watching it closely, just looking for an opportunity to possibly take them both if something
Oh.
happens.
Staffiuk ops break a little bit earlier. Oh, but once again, almost side by side.
Oh boy.
But still a drag race battle
It's his
going
line.
on.
He's got it.
Yep.
Not yet, not yet. Oh
Well,
boy.
that's
Porsche's got
Yeah.
to tuck in, yeah.
Yeah. No way. That would end up in total disaster.
Oh man,
Porsche
that was.
catches a
Right.
big bump.
Yeah, he
Keeps it together, though.
I've seen a lot of people catching that bump earlier, and Dreebs actually ended up losing it back there.
It looks like Zuch is not so fortunate. I'll catch the replay in the pip right now.
Oh man.
Coming up the hill, I bet he's going to catch too much
Yep.
Kurt. No,
There
too
he-
much rotation at the
Rotation.
moment of the apex
yeah.
of the curb.
Lost the
I'll do
rear
it.
end.
And can't stop it.
Oh man, get out of the way. Oh, she does. I was like, you need to, that is a very dangerous position for your car to be on track. So, Madiak again, so
It's
far.
really unfortunate that she does that there, because if she's got any, will she even pit? But yeah, she's got to go all the way around if she wants to repair that.
Zuch has not pit yet, but yes, it will be a whole very long plus 2 to maybe 3 minutes depending on the damage. And look at Al.
Tufo under attack again, on the attack again.
Yep.
Yeah, she's just waiting for that opportunity for Staffiuk to crack.
And
I
look
mean,
at,
nearly found it. The inside was open there.
oh, he
Steffiuk
goes
went a
deep.
bit wide, and now he's going deep.
Oh, may give Al the opportunity, but not quite yet, as Eric Boardman is also on Al, so he is both attacking and defending.
So he is in between now. Boardman will be coming through on the inside, and oh, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, 3 Porsche battle, baby.
Oh yeah, and he goes
Oh.
wide to keep
Very
that position.
wide.
He's like, I'll take this cut if I have to, but no, not now.
Yep, whatever it takes.
I will keep my position. I'm trying to gain a position. You're gonna make me lose one. And Boardman goes through the pits. Actually says, I'm not having any of this. Forget it. So
What do they say? Wisdom is sometimes the better part of valor.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
that we just saw it
Yeah.
twice
We just
there.
saw you did.
Run wide rather than die, and pit rather than fight.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take this line that is
Oh,
non-existent.
and Myra loses it again.
Oh boy.
Oh,
I'll catch it. What happened here?
maybe
What
with the
is this, sector
damage.
3?
Looks like, yep, sector 3 going into that. Yeah, just
Oh, yeah, she releases the wheel.
yeah.
And you can't do that there because your line will go wide and there's barrier.
And this could be also related to the damage she previously had.
Probably,
So
yeah.
maybe offset the car and but into the pit she goes. She has not yet pit and get those repairs out of the way. So
At least that's that going for her.
I'm gonna switch over to the leader just for a bit here, just to give you guys an idea how close Rec is, as these two have sort of been on class of their own. And you can see there, Dupuis makes a little mistake and Rec just closed in just about half a second. Once they get in, he gets into that draft. This is about to get interesting, as they're also running into a couple of blue flags if they don't pit. So maybe choose to pit now, not get that traffic. We'll see. We'll see what they do.
Boardman exits the pits in P19.
There's about half the field yet to pit. I mean, actually a little bit less than that, about 13, 14 drivers or so. Neither Dupuis or Rec chooses to pit at this time. They might be waiting for the end of the race with that 1 minute left on the pit window. But Rec is really closing in, and Dupuis is definitely seeing that Ferrari on his mirror.
Speaking of closing in, Al is really closing in on Staffiak at the chicane just slightly, but now he's opting to pit. Staffiak is safe for another day.
Taking a look at the chat as well, Mr. Chan is closing. Remember that Chan put that really awesome lap at the end of qualifying, sent his Lambo way up to the top. He's just about a second from Louis, by the way. He's closing in. He actually had almost a whole second faster lap than Louis did on his Porsche the previous lap. And he's actually put his car on the 18th as his best lap. So that's the other driver who's currently has put his car on the 18th. And so does Mutu, who has already pit. So blue flag is out of the way for that battle for P1. Great looking AMG coming through. Not too far back. Great looking, well, NASA. Gotta love that sticker on that Rex 296.
We got to see this in the pit, though. Joao Semedo put himself in the rearview mirror of Gardner in the last braking zone. And I think he spooked Gardner a bit because Gardner went real deep. They went side by side in the last turn, and Joao got the better of it, and he just snags P17. Really nice moves.
Yep.
I believe they're teammates as well, even though they have a slightly different livery from what I remember. They were also,
are they?
Yeah, they were teammates. I remember they were actually on Paul Ricard. They were involved at the end. There was an incident. It looks like Garner.
Oh, Gardner loses it right on top of Radion.
Oh, man.
Big shunt into the wall.
Into the wall he goes.
Oh, another soul taken at Radion. Oh, you hate to see it.
Looking at the chat, language says another Fezadette. Yes, it is. He goes to the pit. Oh man, you just say.
Whoa.
And Rec has taken the lead, by the way, as Dupuis decided to go into the pits. I don't know. I've lost count how many souls in cars Erouge Radion has collected today.
I know. Yeah.
Now?
We've seen, it's been, I'd say minimum 6. Minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. Let's switch back over to Louis. We're talking back about Chan, who's now P4, by the way. He has not yet pit, but he's closing in for that provisionary P3. His previous lap was a 19.370. Even Louis' previous was a 19.600, so he's gained quite a bit of time on Louis, and this might be a battle for a provisionary P3 very soon. And let's take a quick look at Dupuis as he'll be exiting the pits. Taking a look at the pits, compared to a few other drivers on the field, looks like it was a 1 minute and 19, just 6 seconds on the actual pit stall, and that's basically, along with Daniel, who's in P14 right now, the fastest pits that's so far in the race. So 1 minute and 19 seems to be what Rec will want to be aiming for. So hopefully just about 6 seconds up and then down and out you go. So
Somebody was curious about where Dupuis would come out in relation to Michi, and it looks like in front with a couple second gap.
about a
5
5
seconds.
second gaps. Yep, 5 second gap. Yep. And Michi was having a pretty good race as well. So he actually was our P1, but looks like Dupuis and Rec just seems to have a better car suited for race pace. I am following, by the way, again, Chan and Louis in that battle for P3 and P4. And Chan just really closing in with that Lamborghini. Car directly behind Chen is not Jeffries. Jeffries is about 3 seconds behind. They're in the back of the screen. That is just a blue flag.
Rec goes to the pits.
Oh boy, here we go. Rec in the pits. We're gonna switch the main camera over to Rec just to see if there's anything that, you know, he needs to nail this as Dupuis did. So this might be a very close exit. We'll switch over to heli cam. Keep an eye on that pit.
Chan catching Louis' Giraffe by 3/10 right into. Oh, Zooch pulling over as a blue flag.
You can see the picture-in-picture where Dupuis is, as Rec is in the pits. This is going to be a very close exit as he's... Looks like Rec might have... it's an 8-second stop versus Dupuis' 6 seconds.
Stopped a bit.
So this might give Dupuis the lead back again once all this is done with. As we can see there on the bottom left-hand corner, they're coming out nearly together at the top of Radion as he goes. And Rec is back out on provisionary. Again, currently P10, but would be a P2 once all the pits are done.
With quite a gap, too.
That 2 seconds,
to reel in.
It's a 2 second. Again, every second matters in the pits, especially at a fast track such as Spa. You can see that it's actually opened up about a 3 second gap, which was only 1. And again, that 6 second versus 8 second pit difference between Dupuis and Rec. So I'm going to bring the camera back over to Louis and Chan, provisionary P2 and P3. Chan still not able to get through. But Louis seeing that blue Lamborghini for quite a bit, quite a few laps. Louis goes a little too deep.
Ooh, Chan being right on the behind of Louis.
And this is where the Lamborghini on the draft. I know the Porsche has a great exit speed, but if he's able to stick within the draft, he might be able to challenge him at the end of the straight. We'll see what happens. But that Porsche, look at that, just took off after turn 1.
Oh yeah,
Just scurries out of corners so fast. I
It's
love
just
it.
so
I
quick.
know.
I mean, it is literally, that's where you go. But then look who is ahead of Louis. If you actually take a quick look, not too far back is Normando, and that's actually, if we're talking about, that's Chan's teammate. So maybe Normando can say, I'm going to slow things down a bit here and maybe do a little teamwork, slow him down, have Chan catch up, maybe blow a little bit game.
That'd be foolish. Pedal to the metal at all times.
Roll beans.
So I'm gonna block your way a little bit. Chan will come over and, hey, you know, hey, teamwork maybe. Who knows?
I mean, they do say teamwork makes the dream work, so I mean...
It is something that they might be considering on their voice chat. I mean, I don't know. I'll be talking a little bit. Hey, if he gets
Maybe.
up to you, you know, block the way a little bit, and let's see if we can go around Louis, both of us, and then, yep. But this is a pretty close gap. Chan is just absolutely glued behind Louis' Porsche, but still not able to find a way around due to that exit speed on the Porsche. He just takes off.
He's holding it well, though. He's not cracked.
So looking at the chat, we see this Cran is actually saying he now died in D3 in the Ferrari, and that is just claiming every wood at every dimension of racing that's happening right now, guys.
Wow.
Another soul gets claimed. Andy Speed.
Oh, Andy Speed is there.
Ooh.
Oh,
Give me a little bit of donuts in the dirt trying to
happened.
start.
Oh, that's what happened.
it's
He
just
lost it on the
slot-
exit there.
He did, yeah. A little too much, lost the rear. Louis has a great chicane. It just opens up again from Chan. So,
Ooh, by 6/10 too.
yeah, unbelievable.
Oh, and another one, Torres. A little bit of an off there. Happened here.
Looks like he just a
Oh,
little too deep.
Too early on the power.
Deep and into the dirt, and then he was able to at least save his car.
Would have been so much worse.
Yep, could have been a lot worse there, especially the only real part of Spa that you have some room to, I mean, I guess you can save his Blashimon at the end, the very fast where we saw Al earlier take the wide line and save his position. That's, I mean, virtually that, and then as you go to sector 1 to sector 2, the double left-hander, I forget the name now, but that's another part that if you mess up, you might be able to save yourself. But anywhere else, you're kind of, walls are very close.
Yep.
Louis has a little bit of breathing room. Just under 30 minutes left in the race. The pit window open for another 26 minutes.
And they still have to pit as well.
Yep, about 10 cars left to pit, so. And it looks like Dupuy is closing in on P10 again, who's Platt is still, he has to pit, so might be losing a little bit of time. It could let Rec catch up again to him. Just take a quick look at what's going on here for that P10.
Cleansing following Dreebs right now, and Dreebs goes real deep. Not enough for Cleansing to capitalize yet, but probably enough to hold the slipstream at the end of Eau Rouge.
So at the moment, Platt just possibly costing Dupuy a couple of precious seconds, maybe not almost a whole second, as he's finally got through him. And now Rec, who's coming pretty quick, trying to catch up and gain those 2 seconds lost at the pits. Possibly challenge Dupuy for the lead as Platt goes wide. Almost taps Rec, but Rec is able to save his Ferrari.
Having a rough go of it right now, huh?
That's right. Back to
And about
Louis and Chan
down
again.
Louis.
Close again. Louis loses his rear a little bit, and that gives room for Chan to catch up once again. This battle has been going on for a few laps at this point.
yeah. Louis has actually been catching a little bit towards Loic Normando.
And another
Down by 1.2 seconds.
pointing out at the chat, Mewtwo, by the way, he's got a point here. He's not too far back from Rec. He does have Platt in between them. He's currently P13. Platt still has to pit. You know, we'll see. He was the overall, he was the pole position, so maybe with a lighter car, he's able to work his way up, challenge Rec and Dupuy, but he's
I don't think so. The gap to the leader is 56 seconds. I think Dupuy and Rec are gonna still have a lead when they when everybody else pits.
Oh no, but Mutual has already pit, so he's got Platt in between them, so he's not too far back.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to actually catch up to Platt, and then we'll see. He's just roughly about a second, maybe 2 seconds or so behind Rec. But Louis now having to deal with Chen, and going to go to the chicane. Here comes Chen on the outside.
Chen getting a nice drop side by side into the chicane. Oh, that was close.
Chen sent it deep.
Sinks it. Wow, what a send.
Great move by Chen on the outside. Again, a couple of times we've seen the drivers taking the outside line of the chicane for the overtake, and I know we saw Damiani do it earlier, and now we saw Chen go around, but he's not over yet. Louis is like, hey, you know, it's all right, but now he does have his teammate Normando up ahead, so a Lambo 1-2 provisionary. So great move by Chen, that's for sure.
Indeed. Very smooth and clean. That's how we like it.
And we'll switch over here to Platt, who does have Mewtwo, as Platt looks like just lets him through. Says, I haven't pitted yet, and then Mewtwo goes deep into the chicane, just
rides the curb too on the exit.
Wow, so a lot of time lost here.
Clumsy interaction here.
So Platt's still sort of saying, yeah, you know, you can go ahead, don't worry about it. But now we see he's actually about 5.5, 6 seconds or so behind Rec, with Dupuy with the lead, about 1 second ahead of Rec. So and this is not over, guys. 23 minutes left, about 24 minutes left in the race. So
those two corners had the same energy as two people mistakenly going for a fist bump and handshake at the same time and swapping twice or before getting on sync.
Yes.
Yep. Troxclair, by the way, in P7. Pretty close battle. Looking here, they both have to pit. So neither has yet pit. So they will drop positions, but it's pretty close battle between these two. It's Aston Martin, which we don't see very often this season.
No, sir.
Yeah.
And we talked about this last week as Hondas are gone entirely. So
extinct species.
It's in the bin now.
It's like Kudos looked at the Hondas and said, we're going to go back to when the game first came out where nobody used it. And yeah, they did just that. So.
Hey, Prime, thank you for the gifted subs.
Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate it.
Steffiak and Troxclair going at it. Troxclair goes a bit wide, but not so much to lose the spot. Keeps it together.
Yeah, Troxclair holding on to that provisionary P6. Maniac in the pits, by the way. Just getting his pit out of the way. And from the looks of it, this is. I think he had to actually. Oh man, he almost went into the wall. Oh, his car is very unstable going up that hill. Oh man, I think you just kind of like had a little bit of a brown moment back there. I just kind of like, okay, yeah. I'm good, guys, I'm good. My tires are all right.
Nothing to see here.
Oh
so
man.
Fine.
So a little bit of breathing room for Troxclair at least.
Yep.
Maniac in the pits, obviously dropping a few positions. And by the way, one thing we need to point out, as we talked about this earlier, Dupuy, who's been, I would say, leading once all the pits are done, is a silver driver, by the way. Rec is a gold. So if you're talking about between divisions, they're both, obviously Dupuy with that lead, regardless of the fact you earn more points. Doesn't mean that you earn the same amount of points if you're within gold and silver. So there's still a reason to battle for those points, regardless of whether you're a gold or a silver driver. So.
You mean besides ego?
Yeah. Besides that, it's like I want to win. That's basically the bottom line, right? Like I don't care what it is.
Win. That's it. One word. Win.
And we're switching back, by the way, to. I'm gonna switch back to Dupuy and Rek. Rek did lose those 2 seconds, had fallen 3 seconds behind, is now caught up to Dupuy, and this is gonna be probably a battle that might last until the end of the race. It would mute you about 7.5 seconds for that, say, P3 once everything is done with. But yeah, this is the closest battle we have on the field, with Chan actually catching up to his teammate Normando for that P1 at the moment.
BC Storm Games asking, what are the leaders lapping at right now?
Provisionary leader, I would say Normando, for instance, had a 19.862, Chan a 19.155. No wonder that's why he closed in so much. Now, Dupuy had a 19.845, and Rek had a 19.447. So you see that huge closing as Rek is really trying to get around. And we'll see how it happens at the end of this straight. He's got the draft, and this is going to go all the way to the end. AMG versus Ferrari battle here.
Oh, that would be a track cut right there. Woo!
Hopefully he does not have any current cuts, as that would get a drive-through. Maybe he'll take that as a cut. He would say, I don't care what it is, but look at this.
Right for P9. Ooh, dang. Oh.
He slots himself.
Fix it.
Oof.
Ooh.
So Dupuy under attack from Rek.
Yeah. Down by 4/10 now.
And this is where, you know, when you're under pressure, like this is how, you know, how can you keep your composure, your consistency? This is where what makes you a great driver, especially in battles like this. You have Rek has to obviously keep his distance, not to maybe create an incident, and we have Dupuy, who's basically has follow his line, and hopefully, you know, basically if I can keep my line without getting attacked by Rek at this point, you know, if he can keep it straight, he's, you know, your concentration is huge at this, especially at battles like, especially when you're batting at the top. So
yeah.
Rek, it's really close. Oh
really boy. Stuck on that rear end of Dupuy.
It was maybe they traded paints there and we didn't see it, but that was very close.
That was like woof. Probably like not even a hair's length.
And by the way, Chan is in the pit. Was again early provisionary up top on the lead along with Normando. We'll see where he comes out, taking care of his grid strategy. He's had a pretty good race so far, so. So Rek still not able to challenge Dupuy for that, well, current P9. So, but Rek really right on the brakes, almost just as late as he can get. Looking at the picture, look at, we're looking at a battle going on there as Al and Madiak. Yes. Put that on the big screen for a second here on a wing cam. So Al trying to find his way around Madiak. Look at all that dirt in Al's car front end.
Yeah, that's like.
He's got all those
things.
All those rubber from Madiak's tires, you would say. It's all glued to the bumper. Look at all that stuff. That was not there when this season started. We know it's ACC graphics at its best.
Yep. Gotta have the details.
I'm switching over, by the way, to as well Dreves and Klingsing. And they are really close leading up to a Rouge in just a little bit. And Klingsing trying to find his way around Dreves. They're practically glued to each other. As Dreebs, oh my goodness, he's almost lost it once again.
Oh.
But he was able to keep it. But now that gives room to Klingsing to maybe attempt an overtake at the end of the straight here, and Klingsing will take the outside. Both.
Oh, very, very close.
Oh
Woohoo.
man, look at that.
That's
Practically
it.
together on the brakes. It was literally identical brake markers, and they both just went around. Klingsing not done with this yet.
Oh no, he is certainly not done. He's a man on a mission. He wants
He's the
P19.
dummy.
Yeah, he actually
Didn't quite
tried
work.
to get Dreebs, but Dreebs sort of did a little bit of a, you call it park on the apex a bit. Did not, said, not here, buddy, not here. And they will live to fight another day. And Klingsing just didn't have his best, well, let's say round 2. He was our winner for round 1. Still scoring some good points. Every point counts towards the end. And then remember, we do have 8 rounds, but you do get a drop round. So, you miss a race, that counts as your drop round. If you don't, you basically don't lose as many points, you would say that. You just lose your worst placed position. So.
Yep, and I think every race finishing is points, so it's almost always worth it to finish.
Bring it to the end. Bring it to the end. Looks like Dreebs just kind of goes a little too much on the curves. That gives room for Klingsing to catch up again. It is a Ferrari battle here, so equal cars, possibly different setups, but still same amount of power. Down the Rouge they go, and up Radion they go. And there's Dreebs getting really shaky going up that straight again.
Once again.
I think his, maybe he's looking for ultimate top speed at the end of this race, so he doesn't have as much downforce on his car, so he gets really loose as he goes up Radion, and that is scary. So
It is, yeah. One wrong mistake on top of Radion, it's literally pretty much game over, right into the wall. As we've seen the past numerous times already.
yes, it looks like he has calmed down a little bit, but we did see quite a few deaths. Yeah. Switching over to Boardman, he's currently P16. We have Maniac not too far back with Latufo, Mr. Al Latufo. And they've been battling for quite a bit too. I know we were following in a picture-in-picture earlier, and looks like Al has sort of backed away for a bit. But Maniac, very quick driver. He was the silver top finisher last week. Down under the final chicane he goes. Maddox going to attempt on the inside. And looks like he goes.
Ooh.
And look at that exit speed on the Porsche, but Maddox has that inside line though.
And I was just waiting in the back for these two to just squabble it out.
It's almost deja vu. Al was waiting for 2 guys to also possibly end themselves earlier. He's just deja vu moment after pit stops, and he does. Maniac actually takes that position.
Takes it.
So great move for Maniac on Boardman.
Oh, Eric Boardman is not done yet though.
Oh, he gets loose going up.
Oh, yeah.
And look at Al says, well, I got a better line than you did, buddy. We're gonna battle to the end.
All right, he gets that. Yep, makes it stick. Now Al is on a mission to tackle out Maniac.
Quickly
Klingsing got the
switching.
run on Dreebs, but Dreebs still has the apex, And he takes too much. He rides it, loses the rear end, spins out,
Oh
and manages to keep it in
no.
one piece and rejoins, but a couple seconds behind cleansing.
Oh.
That might be the end of that battle.
And another battle that's brewing up now is Daniel P11 with Chan. And Chan, who was working his way up and had a great qualifying session, so should be a top 10 finish for him once all pits are done with. Pit window is open for another 8 minutes, so a couple of drivers waiting to the last minute to get that out of the way. But here comes Chan, maybe out braking Daniel on the inside. And it looks like
Nails it.
Nailed it, and Daniel just sort of said, all right, you can go, no worries. And yep, Nick found his way right around as Louis, by the way, in his spit, taking care out of that. Somebody out of the pits they go.
Ooh.
Louis.
No, couldn't make that one.
We
Didn't have the speed coming out of the pits.
Now sends it up the inside of Colin. And Collins goes for the switchback and gets a way better exit and gets right back. Maybe after the hill?
Oh boy, here we go. And Boardman, who actually, well, basically was ahead of both of them, it just sort of keeping a close eye. And now Boardman maybe on the attack on Al on the same part where he lost the position.
Oh yeah, he's catching that slipstream. Wheel to wheel.
Oh, the space is left.
Nice.
man.
He's not gonna be able to hang it around the outside of the left hand.
Fumbled a little bit, yeah.
Maybe here if he doesn't
do it.
stop it. And Madiak says, well, thank you guys. I'll get away for a bit. Why not?
Yep, keep it up, boys. You're doing great.
Yeah, keep
Exactly,
your
yeah.
Porsche battle, guys. Keep that up.
Yeah, just keep going at it. I'll just stick right up here, chilling.
And Boardman loses the rear end there. I managed to snap the wheel.
He saved
far
it.
enough to save it.
Oh, good save though. Could have been a lot worse than that.
Could have been so much worse.
Oh yeah.
Gonna switch back the main camera over to Dupuis, who's got Rex still in that picture. So Dupuis holding on with his AMG practically the entire race, and Rex just maybe just hoping for a little mistake here and there, and Dupuis just very consistent, even under pressure earlier, was able to keep it together. And he's got about, if he's gonna do something, you got about 7 minutes and 36 seconds as I see that hit. But great race from these two so far. And we should see the top 6 drivers heading into the pit, possibly in a lap or two. And we'll see where they will be coming out. So now keep in mind that Normando was just about a second ahead of Chan. So when Normando pits, we'll see where he comes out. Taking a quick look at pit times and all and such. Chan's pit was flawless, was basically 1 minute and 20, 5 second up on the pit stall. So Normando will need to get that pit as good as he can get to be able to possibly keep that position. So, but we'll see 2 teammates coming up together, merging at the top of the Radeon. Take a look at the chat. Looks like Philo. Well, that was fun spinning up the hill twice. Yes, that's Gardner. Yeah, I know.
F.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think his car was just completely done at that point. So
Yeah.
Can we get an F in chat for Gardner?
RIP and F. That's what we need. Yep. Don't worry, Philo. You are not the only one, and we lost count. Just so you know, we actually don't even know how many people have died on that part. So
Yeah.
you're just one.
drama.
Ready? Oh.
Drama in the front field. Dupuis comes up on Anderson, who
Oh,
is not
boy.
hit yet, and as he goes for the pit, he gets
Actually-
pit maneuvered by Wreck.
Wreck. He just sort of looks like Anderson was
Oh,
going to go into the
no.
pits.
Catch the replay from his POV on that. This is Wreck's POV.
Look at the
And
picture.
Anderson goes
guys.
deep and wants to pit.
Oh.
Bam!
Oh man, just bad timing, guys.
Oh,
Oh. Wreck almost got wreck.
that's the kind of thing where you need to kind of have situational awareness and like think that, okay, well, who is it in front of me and why is this happening? And you kind of have to maybe
Yeah.
expect that Anderson was gonna pit.
And you know
Now
that.
he's getting bullied
Ugh.
up the hill. Oh,
And-
what? This is a disaster for Anderson.
Yeah,
This,
Anderson
this
hasn't yet
is
pit.
Gonna
He has not yet pit, by the way, Anderson.
correct. That's why it's
Oh,
this is
man.
an error that's gonna compound.
Ooh.
Oh.
He was hoping to pit, and now hopefully, I mean, he's okay. He's going to be able to close that in. All drivers, I don't want him to miss his pit window, and then we have a problem. So Dupuis actually has a little bit of breathing room again. About a second and a half from Wreck, who tapped Anderson at that pit entry. So, and Chan was the Lamborghini who has passed over Anderson again, who was trying to get into the pit but didn't make it. So maybe this lap it is for him.
Loic Normando goes right into the pits.
And we're going to keep a close eye on Normando. Actually, I'm going to switch over to Chan on the main screen, who's very close to Normando. So we'll see where Normando comes out once his pit is done with.
Into the long spa pit lane.
And taking a look at Dan says, what has the attrition been in this race? How many we start with, how many in the lobby still? So as far as I know, and interesting, I think we've only lost one driver. I think it was Gardner. We started with 33, maybe 34 drivers. So everybody who has, you know, possibly, you know, ended themselves at we know where has actually stuck around to gain those points. So
Smart move.
we'll switch over to Normando there at your picture-in-picture, and Chan coming around the chicane. This will be a very close exit. We saw this between Wreck and Dupuis earlier. They're virtually at the same time. Great pit,
Oh wow. Great pit
Nailed
stop. Wow. That was very fast.
but virtually identical to Chan. So
Four.
we'll see how this ends up at the top of the hill, guys. Here we go.
Yeah.
You know they're going together all the way to the end. You know that's coming. Here we go.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And it looks like Normando and Chan. Look at that. Chan takes the spot. Normando actually
Yay,
drops. So great. He basically undercut Normando for that position.
Anderson finally makes it in the pits. I'm sure for a lengthy, well, maybe not lengthy. It might not be worth it to repair everything.
At this
But
point, I'll
for some
probably.
repairs.
Yeah. Truxler in the pit as well. All drivers in the pit. That will give Dupuis the lead again. Wreck with a P2. Mutu P3. And then Chan now with that P4. So great drive from Chan. He was behind Normando when the whole pit stuff started happening. He pit earlier. Was able to undercut his teammate on the Lamborghini. P4, P5 for the Lambo team here. Now, let's switch the camera over to Normando, by the way. He's actually under pressure from Daniel. He's got about 2 laps to go, and Normando just pit, so his tires might not be exactly up to, let's say, against PSI, so to speak. I mean, he didn't change the tires, but still. And Daniel has been out on the track for a bit. So Daniel, with his Aston Martin, trying to maybe work on that P5.
So one of the biggest factors of this track and in this race is obviously tire wear. And to give the audience an idea of how much the tire wear is affecting these drivers now at the end, our front runners who are putting in laps like mid-high 218s, their recent laps are all 219s and 220s. So they are tired. those tires are ready to go.
And they have less
The
fuel.
tires.
And they're tires, so you can imagine those tires are going. That's for sure. I mean, you had more fuel to start the race with. You did a 218, mid 218s. Now you have less fuel, and you're doing 219s, a whole second, like you said. So, leader Dupuis has led us into the final lap here at Spa. Normando with a major cut right through the top of Rodillon here. Maybe trying to avoid any sort of Daniel was in P6 attempt.
Mitchie loses out to Chan. I think Mitchie had a bad hill.
And
Rouge.
so Chan now P3.
Yep.
Look at that. Mewtwo now drops to P4, so loses that stop, but it's not over yet, guys. I mean, it's still about a whole 2 sectors to go.
Oh yeah, long track, so still there's a little bit of time left to get whatever you can.
Mewtwo goes wide. Just make sure that he doesn't maybe not lose another position.
Oh, Daniel's reeling him in the whole time. This is coming about to become a 4-way fight.
Oh yeah.
It's just about under a second. And this is what happens, guys. We see drivers similar pace pit at different times on the race, and you get this at the end of the race. So Mewtwo not done with that. Look at that. It looks like Chan loses a bit.
Got a bit wiggly there.
Oh boy, this is gonna go through the end to the chicane, guys.
Oh.
I'm gonna switch the camera really quickly over to the P1 as Dupuis looks like we'll be coming on with that win.
Oh, no!
A tap.
Oh, little tap. Woo!
The gap just
Oh,
disappeared, and Michigo went in the back of Chan. Fortunately, he staves off Normando for now, and fortunately, they both keep their cars pointed in the right direction.
And look how wide he goes.
It goes
wide.
Oh, he really cut
Deep.
that
What?
cane.
Oh boy.
Oh, and they're side by side across the line for P3.
Oh man, that was close.
What a
What's going on?
finish! That was so close.
What is happening? I gotta catch a replay right now.
Wow, what was that?
It looks like Chan went super
Crazy.
late, went wide, and then the other drivers, basically Normando almost took the position from Mewtwo right at the end. So Normando P5, basically
That was close to a photo
Wow.
finish.
that was really
Yeah.
close. I mean, you can take a look at their times between themselves was basically 42s of 40. What is this? 0.042. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It was basically crossing the line together. So, what a race we had here at Spa. A couple of people who unfortunately had to deal with incidents up on Rodillon, but our previous race winner Klingsing crossing the line P17, so not his best race. I'm sure he will be back. Archie crossing in P20. We have Mr. Kish on his AMG, and Damiani, who is P21, right ahead of Kish for that P22. Not many drivers still battling, as looks like that battle was just more there towards the end, almost for basically that top, basically between P3, P4, P5, and P6. And Daniel actually ended up with that P6, Normando with that P5, so.
Chat's saying, we need a coach interview. Absolutely, we can get Mr. Jeffries in here.
Yes.
We'll pull him in as soon as it ends, guys.
Almost there.
We have Platt and Crown crossing the line at the end. And that is our
checkered flag.
Checkered flag, folks, here at Spa. We're gonna bring in a few guys, get some interviews here before we close out the stream. So let me go ahead and exit out of this into the garage. Congratulations to Dupuis, P1, heck of a race on that AMG. Rec P2 also put some pressure on Dupuy. Dupuy just was able to keep it together and consistent. And Chan, what a drive from Chan with that P3. Just was able to basically took his teammate Normando and was able to get ahead of Muchu, who made a mistake, and he took advantage of it. Absolutely great race tonight here at Spa, that's for sure. Let's switch over back to our intermission page. And we're going to go ahead and see if we can bring a few folks in here for some interviews. I know we're bringing Mr. Jeffries. That's one of them. So bear with us for a second, you guys, as we...
Yeah, these people don't make themselves readily available. We got to hunt for them.
Yep. Chase them down.
Yeah, so we have to move them to our tower. So once they join our race chat, we're able to bring them in, ask a few questions. We do have Chan available here on our race chat. Let's bring him over.
Move him in right now.
All right, perfect.
Brandon, let's go.
Hello.
Great drive, man. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Why don't you tell us a bit about what jumped out to you? What was the most memorable bit?
Honestly, well, the beginning of the race where I almost got turned into the wall at the top of Radion, that was really scary. I haven't had the chance to take a look at it yet, but that was definitely eventful.
Well, I remember you actually put a late qualifying lap. Like you were moving up, you moved up like from what I remember, like 20 positions, and basically once you're finally able to get your good lap in. But then afterwards, you basically worked your way up, and we noticed you were battling up top, and then eventually you undercut your teammate by going into the pit early, and then when you came out ahead, and he came out right behind you. Were you guys talking about teamwork there going on a little bit before you pit, or was it just basically you guys just going on your own?
We were definitely talking about it. Obviously, you want to do what's best for both of us, and basically, yeah, we decided that if I caught up to him, then I would undercut him.
Nice. I mean, you had a pretty consistent race. I know you didn't see it all, but quite a people, I'd say lost their lives on going up Aruj or Radion. So it wasn't just one or two incidents. We lost count towards the end of the race. But those who survive, I guess at the end, like I said, you still managed to get obviously a P3 towards the end. So congrats. That's for sure a great race from you.
Yeah, thank you. I actually witnessed a few deaths. The Ferrari that I was battling with at the end, he almost died actually.
Yeah, we saw a few people get squiggly going up the hill, maybe not enough downforce on the car. I know Landon Dreebs was one we caught, and his rear just gave in. Gardner was another driver who's lost there twice. He basically lost it once, lost it again, and that was pretty much race over for him. But still, I mean, like I said, congrats on that P3 podium. Don't want to take you much of your time. I'll put you back on that race one chat.
Congrats.
Good one, guys. Thank you.
Also, congrats.
If you ever want to team up with a controller, hit me up.
Noted.
Alrighty. We do have our winner, Mr. Zach Dupuy, here on the cooldown room. You want to bring him over, Jess?
Hey, Zach. Congrats.
Hey, thank you.
I mean, absolute killer drive for you, man. There, you were battling quite a bit there with Reg up there at the top. Talk to us a little bit. How did that go? I know he was attempting a few overtakes here and there, but you kept pretty. From what we noticed, it was pretty. You kept it super cool. So how did it go?
Yeah, lucky for me, me and Reg both raced in D3 last season, so I raced with him a ton and know he's a good driver and he wouldn't do anything crazy. So if we just kept the defensive lines when I needed to, nothing crazy was going to happen. So that was reassuring.
I think a little bit later after the pit, because you came out ahead, he didn't have. I mean, it looks like your pit was flawless from what I remember, and his pit he actually lost 2 seconds. It was a car basically in between you guys who had yet to pit. I believe it was Platt, and he was trying to get through that. But then later on, he had a little bit of pace, and he was catching up to you again. And we're like, this is going to go to the end. But then I remember seeing a little bit of an issue there, like where he was almost actually tapped you. It was very close, leading into the sector 3. But then after that, he looked like he didn't put much of a threat. I mean, it's still within about a second to you, but I mean that was just basically from our broadcast view. So But other than that, just congrats, man. That was killer, man. It's absolute killer driving from you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, he was definitely making me work for it. I think when he got close and got in there, I got a little nervous and had to kind of just block everything out and refocus and try to just drive the car.
Oh, especially when you're racing with somebody similar pace, you got to always maybe thinking like they are, like, is he going to attack here or not? And you're just kind of trying to focus on your race line at the same time. So it's obviously leading the race. It's not the most comfortable position to be in. So if you're able to keep it there and cross the line in P1 at the end, it's a hell of a drive. So congrats, man.
Appreciate it.
Before we let you go, how are you feeling about Watkins Glen next week?
I loved it on the Aston in 1.8, but I have not tried it on the Merc. So
Right,
we'll
it's
see.
Bit of a different beast.
Yeah. And real quick, just a shout out to my coach, Ronnie Over. He's got a broken leg still, so he's still at a D1. But I hope he heals
Let's go,
up.
Rania. Thanks for drafting.
All right, man. We won't take much of your time. We'll put you back on the race chat, man. Congrats again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Congrats.
Alrighty, and I was looking through. We're gonna bring Mr. Jeffries here, but I don't see him.
I don't either.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't see the
Coach, get in
coach.
here.
And
Coach,
yes,
we summon you.
and I was gonna bring our P2 rec finisher as well, but I do not see him as well. I wanted to get his take on that battle with Dupuy there at the front, but I don't see anybody else that I remember. As far
How about our silver podium?
That's
Yeah.
second, guys.
Anybody write it down?
I can pull it here on my end. At the end, it was just kind of getting so crazy. I don't even know. Just people switching positions all over. Technically speaking, as I mentioned, Dupuy is actually our silver top, because he's silver. He's D2 silver, and Rec is D2 gold. So those are the actual two winners for both. So, and I don't see. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna bring in. Where is? I know Dreebs last season had a great season himself. I want to just get his take a little bit of what happened there going up Rouge. Let's bring him over and let's see let's see what he has to say about that part, right? Here we go. Put him on the cooldown before I don't want to scare him. There we go. All right. Landon Dreebs, you are on the booth.
Hello, guys.
Hey, hey, we just wanted to get a little bit of your take on this race. I know you were doing really well up at one point, and just I wanted to get just talk to us a little bit of what happened through your race. Just kind of walk us a little bit.
Crawley was great. I put an absolute heater in. Don't know where it came from. That was faster than my fastest lap by like 7/10. So not sure where that was, but I thought we were in a pretty good position. Unfortunately, I just ran out of talent. Top of Radion got a little loose. I had it saved, and then it snapped, just, Ferrari things. And unfortunately, I took Dunham with me, I think. Tough spot. He couldn't go anywhere. And then, yeah, towards the end, we were just racing for, I think, P20. It's kind of a fun battle back there. But yeah, not a great race, one to forget for sure.
Yeah, we actually caught that live as you were going up the hill, and we were looking at you. Just I was talking about the sit up on your car, whether you didn't have much downforce or not, but it looked like every time you went over the hill, your ear would just lift a bit and you get squiggly a few times, and then you saved it, I think, a few times too.
I'm glad you guys saw that too, because in practice throughout the race, I was like, I put it in the safe setup, but packed as much downforce as I could in there, and then I just could not get the rear to stick. It was treacherous for sure. I kind of hate this track, not gonna lie. A lot of nightmare fuel coming over that hill.
Yeah,
nothing but trouble.
Well, it's almost like you pray that you make it through, and some drivers eventually, depending on the setup, they go really safe. You might be able to get it through, but then, and I mean, obviously, you know that you are not the only person that lost it up there. So we lost count. We were telling everybody that we lost count. It was way many drivers that we caught live. Actually, it's almost like we had a camera. Like if we had a camera there for the first 15 minutes, you would have caught something every lap. That's basically
that would have been a funny montage.
Yeah, it was just every lap somebody go wide. Even unfortunately, lap 1, turn 1, I forget. I believe it was Crown. You got bounced off into the wall right at lap 1 going up the hill too. So it's kind of like, oh, that started early, and then every lap there was something going on there. So
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the next couple of races go a bit better. I was really looking forward to having a good season here, but it's a lot of bad luck early on. Try
Yeah.
to turn it around.
yeah, it's just 2 rounds in, so you're good. Things can
Good.
change in a heartbeat. I mean, you were last season, you won for silver, so we'll see how he goes.
Try to do it again.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right, man. Well, won't take much of your time. I'll put you back on the race shop. Appreciate your feedback on that.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, you too, man.
Good luck next week.
You as well.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty, and since I do not see Coach here, I wasn't gonna bring
He's
anybody
ignoring
else.
my pleas.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm not even talking today. I didn't have a great.
Good
Well,
for us.
So before we close out the stream, we do want to thank our sponsors. So I want to go ahead and bring our sponsors on the screen before we close this out. So as usual, thank you, Documize, Retro Saga, one of our major sponsors, SRA, and our, of course, individuals, title sponsors, supporters. SRA is a really one of the largest, I'd say probably one of the largest ACC communities that I know of, and he just makes it better. I don't know about you guys. You guys are the ones that hang around. You guys join in the chat here, doing our broadcasts. You guys interact, have fun with us, and that's why we do it. I mean, like I said, I enjoy every night that I come out here to do the broadcast. It's always super fun. We got some great racing going on, and you guys supporting us obviously makes us just keep getting better and better. So I appreciate you guys coming in and tuning in and supporting and tuning in every basically week for our races. You guys have anything else you guys wanted to add? I know next week, where are we heading to once again?
Watkins Glen in the rain.
The wet.
Oh man, that's gonna be fun. I've raced Watkins
Ooh.
Glen in the dry. Honestly, I don't think I've ever tried Watkins Glen on the wet. I've never even launched a server that
I don't
way.
think I have either.
I
Never.
have him on
It's certainly a
0.8.
fun track. I love it. I'm looking forward
yeah.
to it. But yeah, the wet's going to be a new variable for me.
I mean, I'm just thinking
Yeah.
at the bus stop. I mean, can you take curbs when it's wet there? I don't even know, because I mean, obviously
Oh.
in the dry you can just absolutely cut them, and I don't know
Yeah.
how grippy are those curbs during the wet. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I can think
Yeah.
see.
of. We will see next week, guys.
We shall see.
Oh man. All right, guys. Anything else we don't add tonight?
Tune in next week.
Yeah, it was a great race.
That's right, guys.
Excited for Watkins Glen.
Next week, same time. Well, Tuesday also, of course, D1 and a couple of other divisions will be racing the first Watkins Glen. And then next week, same time, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tune in, and you will get to enjoy a wet Watkins Glen here at SRA. And other than that, I wish you guys a good night. We'll see you next week.
Good night.